welcome back to Signature Scents. My name is Ryan, and today we're going to be looking at Terre De Bois. I'm going to do a skin test of Terre De Bois by Miller & Harris. Miller Harris is a house out of the UK. It's a niche house founded by Lynn Harris in 2000, which is also when they released this fragrance, which is currently discontinued. Terre De Bois is said to be a cheaper fragrance. And I found this stuff at the House of Perfumery in Portland. This beautiful place it's like a candy land for someone like me. They have all these different vintage fragrances, and some of them are discontinued, and this is one of them. It's not vintage necessarily, but it's definitely a classic formulation. And I'm going to go ahead and put a picture of the bottle on the screen now. Okay, so now that you've seen the bottle, Terre De Bois, we're going to, so I have sprayed it on the paper. I haven't put it on my skin yet, and if you watch my past videos, I'm now doing this three-part thing of smelling it out of the bottle first, smelling it on the paper, and then smelling it on the skin. And then once I spray it on the skin, I'm actually going to stop the video. I'm going to go to lunch and spend some time with it. I'm going to come back and share some more insights. So real quick, before I do this, let me go ahead and smell the bottle. Out of the bottle, it's very condensed. It's got a very lemony, I think lemon verbena is the note that is the most prominent. Very lemony, alcohol-y. It's nothing too remarkable, but I do remember that I had a very good experience with it. It was very fresh, and one thing I will say is the paper still smells like it. It seemed like a Freshy that kept that lemon scent for a while. So I'm going to go ahead and spray a little bit more on the paper. Do another quick smell test on this to refresh my nose. It's a very light, clean, freshy type of smell. It's not like Eau Sauvage type of lemon or the lemon out of like the Monsieur de Givenchy, like that gentlemanly lemon. It's not like that, but it's also not like a designer fake synthetic lemon. It's a very nice, bright lemon smell. Not very sharp lemon. And there's some green, some very subtle, gentle greenness that kind of is there underneath it, supporting it, so it's not like a full-on, like squirting lemon on you or something like this. It's a little bit herbally as well. A little herbally, a little lemony, not too far in either direction. It's very light and very bright is the main way I would say it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some on my skin. I'm going to put it on my hand. I'm also going to put it on my spots on my neck, but this is so I can get my nose into it more. So let's go ahead and see. Ooh, nice, shiny. I'm also going to do here, there, right there. By the way, I found out this, if you have one of these, this is a really good place to put fragrance because it's right beneath the collar line. And also because it's an indentation, it doesn't rub so much with the shirt. Like, so you put on a jacket and other sweaters and stuff, it doesn't rub off. And it's a nice little like aroma diffuser spot on your skin. So I think it's pretty cool, especially when you're wearing a shirt like this. You're wearing V-neck, maybe not so much. Okay. Ooh, okay, so it is different on the skin. Again, my skin likes to project, it seems, the richest part of the richest notes. I have the very dark pheromones, and the lighter, brighter stuff really just gets eaten up on my skin really fast. So for me, on my skin, this is the first time I've smelled on my skin. When I sprayed it yesterday, it was just on paper. Very herbally. In fact, somehow some of it got in my mouth, so I'm actually tasting it. Okay, so it's the way I would describe it is herbally with an aftertaste of the lemon. And the lemon, again, I guess the lemon verbena, I haven't smelled that note individually, but I know it's not, I don't think it's the actual juice. Lemon verbena, I think, is an herb too. So it's got a lemony, but I don't want to say grassy, a slight grassiness. And when I say slight, you have to imagine it's just a tinge, just enough to paint it so it's not a full squirt lemon. It's like a lemon with an herbal scent. It's actually very, very nice. No, based on how it lasted on the paper, Like I was still smelling it. I've some Freshies like Monsieur d'Adventure, which I love that smell. It just doesn't last long at all. And I don't have really good luck with Freshies because my skin eats them. So I tend to lean towards the aromatic Fougères. This is, according to Fragrantica, a Chypre. I guess that's because of the bitter herbalness. And I think, I'm not totally sure. I think Chypres and Fougères are kind of close. I think Fougères got more of the like the geranium, carnation, lavender, floral stuff that kind of pops off with like an oak moss. Chypres I think are more bitter and herbal, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am, you know, please write in the comments below what's your take on that. So I'm talking to give this a little time to settle and see if I can get anything out of the Drydown before I go off and go get some lunch. Okay, so now it's calming down a lot more. It was much more sharp herbal. I'm saying sharp lightly. It was a much more intense herbal opening with the lemon. Like it was, you know, it doesn't smell synthetic. I also say it doesn't smell synthetic. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're selling it at the perfume house. 100 mil, I think, was around $60 to $80, give or take. So it's a good price for a niche house. It's not expensive. Okay. Herbally, it's basically an herbally grassy, but not in a bad way grassy. Herbally grassy with a rounding off, like wrapped in this kind of not sharp, but a lemon-like smell. And that's basically just it. It's very pleasant in general. Without trying to break down notes, it's very fresh. It's very light. And I'm quite excited to go give this a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the video now. I'm going to go get some lunch, and I'm going to come back and report some more thoughts. Okay, real quick before I go to lunch, for you frag heads out there, I did quickly look up the note breakdown, and what I'm getting, apparently that herbalness is called galbanum. Galbanum is very prominent, especially on the top. It's galbanum, the lemon verbena, and a little bit of the citrus put in, and I think maybe a little bit of the sage or clary sage. But the sage is definitely more of a, if it is there, it's a supporting role in the opening. But that galbanum is basically the main player of this opening. And one interesting thing I found about this, when this dries down, it's supposed to have a cotton candy-like note, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what that smells like. Also supposed to have some nice spices and vetiver. I think I'm starting to get a little bit of vetiver now. So let me go ahead and I'm going to go to lunch and I'll come back and report. Okay, I'm back from lunch and I have a lot of insights to share with you. So when I was walking to lunch, it's very cold here in Portland. It was like a little bit over 40 degrees. I had my jacket on and I had my hands inside my jacket. And so there was a lot of rubbing going on this. And I wanted to respray. So what I actually did, I came back from lunch, I resprayed, and I sat a longer time, did some work, and then I came back and I have a lot of stuff to share about this. So first of all, the opening is a very citrusy it's very citrusy, like a photorealistic citrus that gives way to like a lemon verbena, and then that gives way, and that citrusy opening lasts, I know, about 5 minutes, give or take. The lemon verbena, in contrast to the citrus is more like out of a lemon. The lemon verbena smells more like a hybrid of a plant that has a lemony fragrance. Okay, that's the best way to explain it. It's kind of like a slightly green lemon. The lemon is not as sharp and like that you know, juicy kind of citrus smell. It's a little bit more subdued and kind of merges and blends in a kind of a plant-like smell. So that's what it kind of gives way to that. Now it further starts drying down, and then what happens is the galbanum, or I think if I'm saying that right, the galbanum, it's almost like a pollen-like smell. It smells, it's a combination of like a little bit of a green herbal pollen-like smell. Then there's a juniper and sage that are like the supporting cast that blend that. So like if the galbanum is like the first and foremost on the top, there is a sage and juniper that kind of support that and blend around it to give it a unique sort of combination smell, if you will, accord. Okay? Now after that happens, it further goes down into this very, I don't say very, but a grassy like vetiver. And then there's that cotton candy note, which the cotton candy, I can see why it's called cotton candy. It's sort of a, I guess the pink sugar comes to my mind. It's not like overly sweet or cloying or anything, like it doesn't smell like super synthetic. It's there, but it's not like in your face. It's more again of like a supporting cast. It's sort of like when you're smelling it on your hand, the grass is the heart, and then in the peripheral of that, sort of like a little bit of an aftertaste, you get this little sugary, kind of like a cotton candy sugary aftertaste on the peripheral. So, another thing to note is, you saw me spray down my neck. I wasn't getting any wafts of this stuff. So, I'm a good barometer for people who have the darker pheromones, who do eat freshy type of fragrances. I wasn't getting wafts of this stuff, so it's not a big projector on my skin anyways. Although I will say it did last quite a while on the tester strip from yesterday. So it definitely, I think, has a little bit more legs than a normal Freshy, for sure, because I've sprayed Freshies and I have a little experience with that. So I think this, if you don't have the real dark pheromones, this could be a go-in. Now, I will say in a nutshell, this, you have to appreciate herbal, and you have to appreciate the grassy kind of vetiver style to be able to enjoy this. I think this is a very unique blend. This is the first time I smelled anything like this. I mean, with that lemon verbena, sage, juniper, galbanum into this grassy vetiver with a sugary kind of, I don't know, sugary. It's so well blended, to put it to you like this. The sugar isn't like, hey, I'm sugar. It's sort of like it makes the herbal smell sweet. So the only way you get the sugar is when you dive your nose deep in your hand, and you really give yourself a good smell. Then you can say, okay, I can kind of piece out a little bit of a sugar note, but really it just kind of blends in. So in summary, this is a very, very interesting, I did a little research on this woman. Apparently she studied perfumery for 5 years, and she does French style. And I've seen some of her other stuff, because I was looking for reviews on this. There's not really anything that I found. She does do like classical style stuff. So this is kind of unique for me. If you like unique stuff, if you like the herbal kind of sage, juniper, a little bit of grassiness, and a little bit of freshness, and a little bit of lemon scent, lemon verbena particularly, because the citrus goes away after a very short time. You'll really, really like this. It's something that you may want to get your nose on. It doesn't project a lot. It sits quite close to the skin. I don't think on my skin this is going to last very long, but you know, if you have a skin type or chemistry that does well with Freshies or those kind of scents, it may work for you. So for me, I'm not going to be getting a bottle of this, although I say that with respect and appreciation, because it's not a scent that's off-putting. It's not one that's like very basic. I think it's very well done. I think it's very interesting, unique, and I appreciate that it's not like a cookie cutter one that you can find anywhere. I think this one stands out apart from the rest, and I'm really, really glad that I had a chance to smell it. So again, it's Terre De Bois by Miller Harris, released in year 2000. I think you can still get it online. If you look, it is discontinued, so it's adds another touch to that uniqueness. It's got a unique smell. It's discontinued, so I think this one is a real interesting and attractive one for if you do like the herbal stuff and you want to go for that unique vibe. You probably won't find anybody smelling like this. Okay, so that's all for now. Real quick, I have coming up, I just ordered some more scents today, and I have some more coming in. So what we have coming in is we have a vintage Old Spice from the 50s, 60s in the Scholten bottle. I have a full 4-ounce bottle that's coming in soon. I've already talked about the Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. Now what's new is I ordered Eau Fresh by Bogart. I have a big, I think it's around 100, it's 50 ml bottle of that coming in, also full. Very, very excited for that. And then I have Rochas de Pour Homme, I think. It's the lemon version. I forgot the exact name of it. I found some really good reviews, and that was one of those kind of like the Bogart that just popped off the screens like, get me. So I have that coming in soon as well. I'm going to be doing reaction videos. I'm also going to be doing full review videos on the Bogart Signature, the Taylor of Old Bond Street, the Paul Sebastian Fine Cologne, and any of the other ones that I find that are worthy enough, I will do review videos on. So make sure to hit subscribe. Thank you for watching, and remember to waft kindness to others. God bless.